Have you ever heard the saying, "The camera never lies"? Well, today we're going to explore a case that proves sometimes the camera is forced to lie, or at least to hide the truth. This is the story of Brenda Carter, a social worker, and how a piece of technology meant to protect us was turned into a weapon against her. Brenda, or Bree as her friends call her, is a dedicated social worker. She spends her days helping families navigate the complexities of housing crises and custody disputes. She's the kind of person you want in your corner, calm, professional, and fiercely protective of her clients. One afternoon, Brenda was doing her job, acting as a neutral witness during a tense but non-violent custody exchange in a small apartment. The parents had called the police just to keep the peace. That's when Officer David Reed arrived. Officer Reed had a reputation, one for being aggressive and for twisting facts in his reports. From the moment he walked in, Reed zeroed in on Brenda. He saw her professionalism not as a sign of competence, but as a threat. "Step back, ma'am. You're interfering with a police matter," he ordered, his voice sharp. Brenda, remaining composed, held up her court-issued identification badge. "Officer, I'm a mandated witness from the court," she explained. "I need to observe the exchange." This is where things take a sinister turn. Officer Reed completely ignored her badge. He moved in close, invading her personal space, and in that single, calculated movement, his shoulder and head perfectly blocked the view of his own body-worn camera. For the next 30 seconds, the camera, the supposed impartial eye, recorded nothing but the officer's uniform and the back of Brenda's head. Both of his hands and Brenda's upper body were completely hidden from view. Brenda stood her ground, continuing to state her legal right to be there. The audio on the camera captures their conversation, but the video shows nothing of the interaction. Then it happens. A sudden, sharp thud is heard on the recording, followed by the sound of splintering wood and a cry of pain from Brenda. Instantly, Officer Reed shifts his body. The camera's view is clear again. But what it now shows is a scene of manufactured chaos. Brenda is on the floor, tangled in a broken shelving unit, books scattered around her. Officer Reed is standing over her, shouting, "Stop assaulting me! Stop resisting!" He then cuffs a dazed and injured Brenda. His official report would later claim that Brenda had swung her elbow at him, forcing him to use a control technique to subdue her. Based on his word and the conveniently obscured footage, Brenda Carter, the social worker, was arrested and charged with assault on an officer and disorderly conduct. The very person there to ensure fairness was now a victim of a monstrous lie, all built around a few seconds of blocked video. This could have been the end of Brenda's story and her career. She was facing serious charges, and the primary evidence, the bodycam footage, seemed to support the officer's narrative by simply showing nothing. But Brenda and her lawyer, Julian Vance, knew the truth was hidden within that recording. They just had to find a way to prove it. Julian assembled a team of forensic video experts. Their first task was to analyze the movement of Officer Reed himself. Using sophisticated motion tracking software, they broke down the footage frame by frame. The analysis revealed that Reed's movement to block the camera was on a random shift in a dynamic situation. It was a practiced, deliberate maneuver, a technique some officers call framing the shot out. He knew exactly how to position his body to create a blind spot. Next, they turned to the audio. An audio expert was brought in to analyze the sounds recorded during the blackout. They identified two distinct noises. First, that sharp, close thud, and then the sound of the shelf breaking. The expert testified that the first thud occurred at a very specific proximity to the microphone on Reed. Vesta proximity perfectly consistent with a direct, forceful blow delivered by the officer himself, not a random scuffle. The sound profile didn't match someone swinging an elbow. It matched a direct shove. But the most damning piece of evidence came from an unexpected source: Officer Reed's partner's bodycam. While the partner had looked away during the critical moment, his camera's microphone was still recording. It captured something subtle but incredibly powerful. Just after the thud of the impact on Brenda, the microphone picked up the partner taking a sharp, quiet intake of breath, a subconscious gasp of surprise. This was immediately followed by the sound of the partner nervously adjusting his own gear. It was a non-verbal tell, an audible reaction that showed he had witnessed something sudden, unexpected, and shocking. He saw what his partner did. In court, Julian Vance laid it all out. He argued that this wasn't just a case of excessive force. It was a carefully constructed lie built on the deliberate manipulation of police technology. The jury was captivated. They understood that the intentional act of blocking the camera was, in itself, an admission of guilt. The attempt to hide the truth was more damning than the assault itself. The verdict was swift and decisive. All charges against Brenda were dropped. The city ended up paying a substantial civil settlement to her for her injuries, the trauma, and the malicious prosecution she had endured. But the consequences didn't stop there. Officer David Reed was fired from the police force for excessive force and, crucially, for intentional body cam obstruction, a specific violation of department policy. He was then criminally charged and ultimately convicted of official misconduct and perjury. His career of aggression and deception was over. Brenda's case became a catalyst for change. It forced the police department to confront the reality of body cam blocking. They implemented a new clear field of view policy. This policy uses the camera's own metadata to automatically flag and trigger an audit for any footage where the view is deliberately obstructed for more than 5 seconds. It created a new layer of accountability designed to prevent officers from ever again using the camera's blind spots to hide their actions. And what about Brenda? She returned to her job as a social worker more determined than ever. She continues to advocate for families, but now with the added security of knowing that her ordeal helped create a system that better protects everyone from clients to court witnesses from the deceitful misuse of technology. Her story is a powerful reminder that while technology can be manipulated, the truth, with persistence and expertise, can ultimately be brought into the light. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into cases where justice fights to be seen and heard. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.